Hello, welcome to my Creative Critical Reflection question 1. How does your product use or challenge conventions, and how do they represent social groups? First thing I'm going to talk about is my target audience. My target audience was mainly older youth and adults. This is because they have the greatest interest in cars, especially cars featured in magazines in the current day, like modern cars, like electric cars and all the new sports cars that are being released. This audience also has the largest disposable income whilst handling financial responsibilities, and the audience also involves affluent working class and all the classes above that. And finally, this audience also includes makers, people that are quite creative and do a lot of home projects, which in this case for cars can be quite common in forms of project or kit cars and just kind of general tinkering in the garage. Those are generally the social groups that my magazine represents. However, my magazine doesn't really bring up any current social issues. I do not involve any electric cars or proper modern day cars in my magazine. When it comes to the conventions of my magazine, it is mainly neutral. It's not incredibly out there in terms of being different and challenging all the conventions, but it does not follow everything and become a simple car magazine. An example of this is there are no people present in my magazine. There is not an image with any persons in it. This is not uncommon or common. You can find it in many magazines where it's a live shot of somebody driving the car, or it's a picture of maybe a race. However, these aren't the images I used in my magazine, so all mine are just the plain automobile with nothing extra in it, like people or objects that can complement the car itself. A follow-up example of this is all the pictures of my cars are completely idle. They are in a set scene with no people in, like I said, and not being driven, so there is no movement in my images. This still isn't uncommon in car magazines, but in a lot of modern day car magazines, it shows a picture of the car, not necessarily with a person in it, but with motion effects to make it look like it's moving, or a picture of it on the road with the person edited out. Those, I think, were the only conventions I really pushed a little. When it came to taking pictures of the car, I took kind of the most common or stereotypical pictures of cars with the right angles and height and such. Although one other convention that I may have challenged us slightly was I used all natural lighting in all my images, all just plain sunlight on nice days. There was no augmented lighting or fake lighting, anything like that, which is becoming more popular, especially on front covers and articles in modern day car magazines. This is simply because I didn't have the budget of a professional magazine, and it was also a personal preference of having the cars in natural lighting compared to, say, a studio lighting with a very simplistic plain background. However, this isn't to say that I had a very ongoing background with loads of added detail. Most of my pictures were just out in kind of natural places. You'd see a vehicle outside a house or parked in a car park. Aside from these few conventions, which I don't think I pushed majorly, that is it for my product. That is it. Thank you for watching and listening. Please check out my blog and my YouTube channel, Vinny and Gelder Media Studies. Goodbye.